The sensor under her shoulder started counting a fourth heart, and there were only 3 people aboard the station. Zao 341, Greenwich Mean Time. Mara Ostrand hung in the dark of her sleep station, 400 kilometers above the Indian Ocean, watching a waveform she did not want to understand. 3 traces, steady and familiar. Ilya, asleep in the port quarter. June, awake at the cupola with her legs hooked under a rail. Herself, and under all of them, a fourth rhythm. Slower, patient, unmistakably a pulse. She did not call anyone. Not for the first 90 seconds. She only listened and counted along and felt the cold go up her spine. Then she moved, hand over hand down the node, past the racks, into the light of the American laboratory. June was where June should be, half lit by the Terminator, Earth sliding under her at 7.5 kilometers a second. Ilya she found by opening his curtain, which is a rude thing to do to a sleeping man, and he blinked at her without surprise because on a station 3 people learn each other's footsteps in the air. 3 of us, he said. Yes, Mara said. 3 of us. 93 minutes to an orbit, 9 minutes of data, and nobody else inside the hull. The instrument was the strange one. Not the chest garment with its 3 electrodes and its honest electrical trace. That one showed nothing unusual all night. The other one, a flat sensor in a pocket at the shoulder that never touches skin, that listens to the body the way a hand on a wall listens to a house. It does not read voltage, it reads motion. Every beat of a heart shoves the whole body a fraction of a millimeter, and the sensor hears that shove as sound, which meant the fourth pulse was not electricity. It was something moving, something inside the station, pushing air, 9 minutes long. Mara's first clear thought was not wonder, it was, they will find the arrhythmia. 11 years ago, a monitor had caught a small stutter in her heart, a harmless thing, and she had not written it down, and she had flown on that silence ever since. Her whole career sat on top of one omission. She had the file selected. Delete was 2 motions away. She hung there with her thumb over it for longer than she would ever admit, and she thought about how easy it is to become the kind of person who erases what she cannot defend. Then she timestamped it and pushed it to the ground. The ground did what the ground does. They came back inside the hour with the boring list, and the boring list is usually right. Motion artifact, a loose contact, converter hum, harmonics of her own pulse folded back on itself. The station is a loud machine. 4 gyroscopes spinning at 6,600 revolutions a minute, pumps, fans, a treadmill, everything humming into everything else. A sensor that hears the body as vibration will hear a bulkhead as a body if you let it. They eliminated 8 causes before breakfast. Every one of them died on the same detail. The fourth pulse was drifting. Drifting is the word that ruined the boring answers. Machinery is faithful. A gyroscope at 6,600 revolutions holds its frequency like a held note. A pump does not wander. This wandered. Slowly, steadily, about 100th of a second per minute, sliding out of step with everything aboard. They ran template matching against all 3 crew signatures, beat by beat, 9 minutes deep. Not phase locked to Ilya, not to June, not to Mara. It kept its own time, and its own time was going somewhere. And it appeared on exactly 1 instrument in a station full of instruments. Nothing else in orbit heard it. Ilya wanted it to be something. He said the word out loud on the 3rd day, the word people say when they are tired and far from home. And Mara told him what she told herself. In 1969, a crew heard music behind the moon, and it turned out to be 2 radios talking to each other. In 1977, a telescope in Ohio caught 72 seconds of something at the hydrogen line, and nobody ever heard it again. 72 seconds. They had 9 minutes. June said the thing nobody else would. If it is a heart, she said, whose is it? Mara already had the answer on her screen. She had not looked at it yet. She looked at it on the 9th day, alone, with the lights down. She had stopped asking what the fourth pulse was and started asking what its drift was doing, because a drift that is perfectly steady is not noise, it is a countdown. She plotted the offset against time, a straight line, falling, not a frequency wandering at all, a delay closing. The fourth pulse was not keeping its own rhythm. It was keeping someone else's rhythm, late and catching up. 9 seconds behind at the start of the record. 6, 4. She sat very still and let the plot finish drawing itself. Then she ran the template match again, properly this time, with the lag removed. And the fourth waveform stopped being a stranger. Beat shape, rise time, the small, ugly stutter at the top that 11 years of silence had hidden from every flight surgeon who ever examined her. It was hers. Something in the station had been repeating Mara Ostrand's heartbeat, 9 seconds behind her, and closing. She checked it 4 times. She checked it because she wanted to be wrong, and she had never in her life wanted to be wrong before. The lag reached 0 at 0350 and 11 seconds. That is where the record ends. Not ends because the downlink dropped. The downlink was fine. The telemetry ran clean through the antenna handover, packet after packet, timestamps unbroken, all the way to sunrise over Chile. The fourth pulse simply stopped. In the same second, it lined up with her own, the way 2 sounds stop being 2 sounds. There is no signature on a thing like that. No exit. 9 minutes of something arriving, and then arithmetic that worked again. Mara lay in the dark with the sensor at her shoulder, listening to one heart, and she could not decide which was worse, that it had gone or that it had finished. She flew the rest of the increment. She was examined on the ground, and the stutter was found, and it was as harmless as it had always been, and she was cleared to fly again. The file went into an archive with a case number and a conclusion that used the word probable. You will not find it. There is no such record anywhere, and that is the comfort, and it is thin. Mara still sleeps with the sensor at her shoulder, down here, where the air is not sealed and there is nowhere it could come from. Every night it counts 1. She has never once been relieved by that number,